What's up, Cereal Bowls? It's your favorite crazy cereal, InsaneAppleJackz, here once again with the Atomic Game Squad. How are you all doing? Because I am doing super duper great. It is Friday, and I just finished another week of class, which means I now have 2 weeks of college in my bag, which makes me sound like a Pokemon trainer who just sat up here and won his second badge. But I'm sitting up here looking at it from the perspective of how much longer do I have to break? But everybody's looking at me like, why are you even talking about break already? We just did 2 weeks of college, and I'm looking at them like, we just did 2 weeks of college. Why aren't you talking about break? So shh, because you're the same people up here in secrecy talking about and thinking about break just as much as I am. But, oh, did I mention that it was Friday? Which means I'm sitting up here doing another video for the guys and girls of the Cereal Bowl Nation. The greatest nation on YouTube, if you didn't know, is the Cereal Bowl Nation. And as you can see in the background, I am also playing some more Batman Arkham Origins. Woo! Talking about some throwback Atomic Game Squad, and yeah, I just wanted to sit up here and play as Gotham's very own. So, woo! Another video, right? But yeah. As you will notice, this video will also have like hella rambling because this is my millionth try of doing this video, and I over-exaggerating like a motherfucker, but I did have a good subject that I wanted to talk about, but it might fall apart because I am sitting up here doing this video over and over and over and over, and it's like, ah! So this does explain why I am InsaneAppleJackz. I go crazy over and over. I also set up here and I was going to do a 30-minute video, but I had it set up here and I was like cutting it because I kept trying to do time trials of my subject and it just kept falling apart. And a lot of this video, I did a few failures in one part, so that does help out in that one section. So yay! And finally, towards the end of the video, I do have something that I've been working on for a second, so here's to everybody staying for that long, and yeah, let's jump right into it. So basically, I'm going to sit up here and read a post that I put on Facebook after my last class yesterday, which reads as, just finished my second week of class, and never have I felt like I've belonged so much and so little at the same time. Maybe I'm just overthinking, which leads into me thinking about how we sat up here in one of my classes that day, and we were talking about meaning of what it means to be a writer in the 21st century, which this one dude set up here and then replied, well, nothing has meaning anymore, and if it does have meaning, it's just a surface meaning, and everything is very pointless because it's just spoon-fed to us now because people don't really want to look into things anymore. And basically, when I tried to reply, he didn't really understand me, or he claimed not to understand what I was trying to say. So I sat up here and thought I'd do this video as a very clean way to organize my thoughts on this, or something like that. So then let's figure out what it means to have meaning then, because we can't reply to this without figuring that out first. So the dictionary says what is intended to be or actually is, expressed or indicated. Also, the end, purpose, or significance of something. And a bunch of other ways that the dictionary will like to define this word. So, wait, doesn't this mean that everything has a meaning? Well, yes. In technical terms, everything in some way has either an intended purpose, expression felt when experienced, or an ending. And so, everything has a meaning. Point proven, video over, right? Well, no, because while everything has a meaning, this doesn't mean what it was going for in any way was good. Yet, does it matter that whatever surface meaning was trying to be passed off didn't succeed? Truly, it doesn't. Really, now in the 21st century with whole series based around blank slates in order to create a different experience for different viewers, and does it work? Well, this being one of the main reasons why people of one generation usually hear from a person of another generation that this is nothing like the things of their time, or usually things become controversial because, yeah, things are always changing. Though, if this is such a common complaint, why is this one of the best fucking ideas ever? Well, I can explain that better with my definition of meaning, which is for someone to push their own personal feelings or beliefs about one towards another person, place, or thing and give it a definition within their head, even if they haven't experienced it for themselves. Which seems true enough, because as individuals, we have so many differences as well as many similarities, which explains why this works so well within TV, because you sit up here and people are always changing their opinions of things. So what they like this week it might not be liked by them next week. And this is why it's so hard to obtain an audience and sustain said audience. This becomes a problem, especially if you are a writer, because it is to gather an audience and sustain said audience. So then what do? Well, you sit up here and you insert a character into your story, and you give them problems that seem like very day to day, and they can be anybody's problem. Or you sit up here and give them a personality that most people, if asked, would want to have. So then, how does this actually apply to the definition of meaning? Well, it does, because by not overcomplicating any of the problems or over defining the actual character, then you sit up here and leave enough room for a person to actually insert their self in the story, and then they make whatever adventures that character goes on their own adventures in a sense. Though this sounds like it would get really generic and overplayed really fast, which it can be if done wrong sometimes, but truly it isn't, because this is how some of the greatest classics or greats of history are created, because they sit up here and they know what to take and capture off of daily experiences and how to convey the life known as the struggle. And yes, I just used the struggle as a way to describe it, though this is how people connect and get emotionally attached to characters or songs or whatever they become attached to and try to give some significant meaning to. But is there really even something wrong with this? Well, no, not in my opinion. And opinion is really what this comes down to in the long run, because some people actually need a set definition for what something means, or they want this actual hidden meaning that everybody shouldn't get. But truly, when you have a set hidden meaning, then it becomes a point that is almost as bad as spoon feeding somebody what you want them to know, because by having a set hidden meaning, you don't age your story as well, or whatever you were trying to show off, because hell, that might not even be a problem anymore. But by sitting up here and having such a vague meaning to, and yeah, I'm using meaning a lot to define meaning, so, but yeah, by having such a vague meaning and what you're trying to do, then you sit up here and you let it age great, because you open yourself up to a wider audience. You sit up here and you allow that person that enjoyed it whenever they first experienced it, like when they were a kid and they fucking read your book or watched your show, they might have saw this, or didn't. Now they come back like 10, 20 years later and then they see something else, like they get a whole new look at life just because of this. Like, hell, when I was young, I sat up here and I watched Cowboy Bebop, and the first time I watched it, I couldn't understand a thing, and it was just like, I don't get it, I don't like it, what's the meaning? But, like, coming back to it later, it's like, holy shit, and it ages really well. But when you sit up here and you have a set meaning, like a lot of major films nowadays, then you sit up here and you close yourself off to a smaller audience. And this is pretty much why a bunch of people sit up here and they either really love the film or really hate the film. And critics are usually so-so. And what usually breaks it down for them is like visuals and all this stuff. But, which then creates a whole new question. Are the things we are allowed to see change the meaning for what we want to think? Because we know what we can and can't show based on the standard of TV and all this other stuff like film, but meaning doesn't actually have a standard. But there is no set meaning in your head that should have a standard, because we're humans and we're always going to be questioning or trying to come up with different meanings for something. Why? Because we're always changing, and as we're always changing, whatever we had a connection with will always try to create another connection if open-ended enough, which is great because it always brings this point for us to realize that we still have meaning or something in the world still has a purpose. But thinking about that, since we do know what can and can't be shown off of like this type of ruling and stuff like that, what should and shouldn't be shown? Well, there is no real answer for that because it's more so opinion based. Like, people think it's a public decency thing, but it's more so one of those things where it should be, what do you want to see? Because certain people want everything shown to them and they want to know the magic behind all these secrets. Like, they want to know why magic tricks work the way they do, but when you figure out everything and you can see everything, is it still magical? Does it still hold its same meaning? Or does it tarnish itself and become a whole different meaning? And this is more so a question for you, because some things can hold their meaning while other things can't. Like, if somebody sits up here and tries to ruin the ending of a show for you, that might just ruin the ending for a show for you and the meaning that you would have got out of it had you experienced it yourself. But like, when I first started streaming, people sat up here and they kept trying to ruin games for me. Like, I was doing BioShock Infinite and I was like a few chapters away and somebody just kept coming in there trying to ruin the ending for me. And the thing was, I didn't care because I was like, well, I really don't give a fuck about spoilers because this is my struggle. This is what I'm going to get out of it. And you might have got something out of it, but I sat up here and I've played through this game for like 5+ hours. So I'm going to sit up here and keep playing even if you spoiled it and all this other shit. Because it's your struggle, and I should probably clear up struggle because I used it a lot during this video, and I don't mean like you actually have to struggle to give something meaning. I mean like your day-to-day, because even if you don't have a hard time with it in a day, it is still your experience, hence your struggle, and that's just what I call it. I've been playing a lot of Borderlands lately. Don't judge me. And yeah, this brings it back to like the whole idea of the meaning of meaning, because everything is based on your perspective. So don't let something have a set meaning for you, because if you sit up here and let something have a set meaning like that, that is legitimately how you just close yourself off. And I guess like I'm getting really repetitive on this, but it's one of those things where it's like, whoa, and whoa. I'm thinking like this because legit, my brain's like, take a break, and yeah, now I'm in ramble mode. So I'm gonna pause for a second and get my thoughts together. Okay, I think I was going in the direction of, by sitting up here having set ideas for everything and set meanings, then you sit up here and you basically block off other sections of your mind, such as your uh, imagination, and you pretty much are being spoon fed, and essentially no one has a set meaning, and it seems like something we all want, but and it would make life a lot easier, but at the same time it would make life a lot more boring. And yeah, I've legitimately hit the ultimate ramble fest, so I'm pretty much going to say I know I didn't make too much sense in a lot of this, and I hope everybody actually enjoyed this, and I hope somebody actually out there got what I was going for, because I fell off track a few times. So yeah, and pretty much I'm getting towards the end of the actual footage for the video, so um pretty much I will catch you at the special surprise point, which happens right after this scene-ish. Holy snaps, what is this place that I'm currently in? Well, this is actually the end of the box, which is the end card for my videos now, and as you can see, we just set up here and missed the schedule for getting this video up on time, but it's still Friday somewhere, so I guess we'll make it. So yay. It's just the fact that I set up here and I kept losing my place through the video because this was something I was thinking really hard about this week, and yeah. So I hope you actually enjoyed it, and I really appreciate everybody chilling this long, and yeah. Powering through this next part, hella tired. On one of these sides right here, you can sit up here and see my social medias, which include my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitch, and my Twitter, where you can catch other stuff like just funny posts or like me actually live streaming. So if you sit up here and follow on those, I really appreciate it. If not, still appreciate you for being a part of the Cereal Bowl Nation. And if you aren't already a part of a Cereal Bowl Nation, right below there is a part for you to click to join the Cereal Bowl Nation, the best nation on the YouTubes. Woo! So once again, I thank you all. Leave your comments down below, like, share, and show the love that the Cereal Bowl Nation usually does. And I'll catch y'all later. Peace. Catching some Z's after this.